In this video, we'll be doing a deep dive on the Perygee architect. The architect is one of the most useful parts of the Perygee platform. Here on the right-hand bar, you'll be able to see your architect chat. If the window's not open, you can click the chat icon in the lower right to bring out this menu. In the chat, you can use the drop-down to find your previous chats and the plus button to create a new chat. You can converse with the Perygee architect naturally. Here, the architect is able to answer questions and help you plan. Here you can see that it's asking what we would like to do today. And a great first practice, if you're about to tackle a new use case, is to chit-chat with the architect to help identify how to spread out the logic between pages, automations, and other resources inside of Perygee. If you're looking to recreate something, you can also upload an image by clicking on the image icon. This is helpful, especially if you're using a web page, or if you're in an automation and you're seeing an error in some other system. You can choose the model that the architect is powered by using the dropdown, and you can also view the different tools that are available, as well as the documentation that's available on the page. The tools and documentation will vary depending on which page you're on in the Perygee app. When the architect is using tools inside of the Perygee platform, you'll see them here with brief descriptions of what's happening. To see detailed information, you can click and view the raw inputs and outputs that the Perygee architect has access to when it's calling these tools. In the settings menu, you can configure how the architect behaves. If auto approve is set to be true, the Perygee architect will be able to make modifications to different resources inside of the platform. If auto approve is set to false, before making any changes, the Perygee architect will prompt you with a window. I'll show how that works by creating a new page. And now that we're here on the page, you'll be able to see that there are new tools available to the architect, and there's new page context. I'll ask the architect, please create a simple counter app. The architect is going to check, figure out what page it's on, and then will write me the code. Note that auto approve is turned on, so it's able to modify this function, or to modify this page without any approval. If I turn auto approve off and ask it to make another change, can you change the app to start at 3 instead of 0? Then before it's allowed to edit, I'll receive a prompt. Here I can either choose to approve or deny. I'll approve this call, and here you can see that it's updated. The architect may call tools in rapid succession, depending on what it believes is the most efficient way to make your changes. Finally, if you'd like to disable sounds or disable the scroll behavior, you can also configure that here in the architect settings menu. We encourage you to use the architect to do all of your tasks. If the architect ever is not understanding you or seems to be lost, a common technique would be to create a new chat and try describing it again. If you try on 2 separate occasions and the architect isn't figuring out what you need, then it may be that we need to train our architect to better understand the type of request that you have. If this is the case, please reach out to us and with some details about your request, and we'd love to identify what's going wrong and make some improvements together.